Hello everyone, I'm Food for Dogs, and today I want to do an unboxing of the Langrisser I and II limited edition. Langrisser is a very old and venerable game series. I obviously never had a chance to play the original games, so I'm really thrilled that they're bringing a remake to various platforms, including PlayStation 4 and the Switch. While I grapple with the cellophane around the box, I will try and go back a bit and explain the background to Langrisser. I'm not an expert on Langrisser. It's purely a bit of research I did. I'll make a start with my trusty German cheese knife. Hope it won't be too recalcitrant. So Langrisser I and II, a very old game that was remade. I'm very excited about it because it is what's called a fantasy tactical role-playing game, going back the origins to the late 80s, early 90s. I would prefer to call it a strategy game because, unlike other tactics RPGs, you don't have just individuals moving around the battlefield in combat, but you have complete units that you need to place strategically to complete a battle. So I tend to call them strategy games. Langrisser was originally developed by Masaya Games and a development team within their company called Korea Soft. It has a fantasy Germanic setting, and that's obviously of special interest to me. If you've watched some of my other more personal videos, you will know why. And it draws on some religious concepts, including the Holy Sword Langrisser, and that's, I assume, where the name comes from. The Masaya Games studio and Korea Soft later sort of split paths, and this is just an interesting little aside because Korea Soft went on to produce a sort of unofficial successor to Langrisser in the form of the game Lanza. And you may be familiar with that name. I only have one game in the Lanza series. I play it on my Vita, and I was actually intending to go back to it and play it again and maybe share some of that gameplay with you. Langrisser started, as I said, back in the late 80s on something called the NISA PC engine. Now, I'm not familiar with that particular computer, but I do know some of you are fans of that original PC engine. Oh yes, I know it very well. So will obviously have some meaning for you. Langrisser itself was published between 1991 and 1998, starting out on the Genesis or Mega Drive and finishing on the Sega Saturn. However, there were so many re-releases and recompilations over the years that the whole thing just looks like a really confusing jumble to me, I'd have to say. But those are the main years. The first game came out in North America and it was called War Song, so you might know it under that name. Langrisser also came to PlayStation, so I'll just rip a bit more into it here. The PlayStation published a compilation in 1997 of Langrisser I and II, and Langrisser 4 and 5 got an edition in 1999. The box art for Langrisser is interesting because it sort of looks very 90s anime. And that's, of course, what the original games would look like. I'm not entirely sure what they've used for the box art. If you have a look at my Switch, So this is, as far as I know, the new modern artwork for Langrisser. And as you can see, I downloaded the demo for the Switch and I've played it a bit, really liked it. It plays very well. It looks very nice on the Switch. So that's obviously one good way to go. The other one would be either PC or PS4. And being a collector for PS4, I opted to go with the limited edition for the PlayStation 4. Langrisser also had a mobile game last year, and I did play it a bit, and it was, as far as mobile games go, it was pretty good, I thought. But you know, you eventually you run out of steam on mobile games, really. There's one other Langrisser game I haven't caught up with yet, and that's on the 3DS. It's called Reincarnation Tensei. Came out in 2015. Most people have told me it's actually not very good, unfortunately, but I think I will grab it anyway just to have it, because the 3DS is coming to the end of its life, and just for the sake of completion, I'd like to have it. Finally, it's time to open the flap, and I'll just show you the back of the box, or rather, was that the front? And we'll have a look what we find. They always have nice boxes, NISA, I find. They just feel sturdy and solid. So we have the Langrisser game, obviously, and the Langrisser soundtrack I will open up immediately and put on so we can hear a bit of music. I always find that really makes a difference to the ambience. So here we have the soundtrack. There are 2 discs inside. Each has 25 tracks on it. And there we have it, Langrisser music. These are called Songs of War. I think we have additional soundtracks here. There are 3 discs. I reckon they've split it, and this might be the original soundtrack, because they did re-orchestrate for the remake of the game, as well as obviously high definition graphics and some other quality of life improvements. Just checking whether there's anything with the game like a reversible art cover. So there's just the disc inside, and I'll just check for the art cover. So this is the reverse side, and you see that's like the box art. The modern graphics, I think this is the modern style. The original artist is Satoshi Urushihara, and the remake was done by the artist who also worked on Art Tonelico, and that is Ryo Nagi. The composer, by the way, was Noriyuki Iwadare, who was famous for composing classics such as Luna and Grandia. I think the artist Rionagi for the remake, while he modernized the look of the characters, he tried to stay within the style. I'm sure there will be heaps of people who've got all sorts of opinions about it, and there will be some purists who will say only the original version is the only really good one. I reserve judgment on that. I'll wait and see what the game looks like. But quite frankly, I think I'd be happy playing with either art style. They're both done by very good artists, and they both have their merits, I think. So here we have the visual book for Langrisser. And as you well know, I always really look forward to the art book in particular. So let's just have a look at some of the pages. This book contains spoilers. Yes, I'm sure it does. But I don't think showing you some of the character artwork will spoil anything much for you. Any of you who know a bit about Langrisser will know that this is the main character, Lidin. I'm just looking at it upside down, but I can tell it's really detailed and beautifully produced. This is a very nice hardback art book, and they've even got an interview with Satoshi Oroshihara here at the back, so that is a very nice touch. I assume it would be available online as well. I saw that Silicon Era certainly had one interview, but just lots and lots of detail, which is just absolutely wonderful. Here are some event scenes. So that is the Langrisser visual book. I might just open up the art cards and have a very quick look. This is a bit of a... And there is just a little bit of fan service in Langrisser. And my channel is rated as not suitable for children. I thought I'd just drop that in here. So once again, NISA has produced a very nice box. It contains the sort of items that I look for in a limited edition and really appreciate. Complete original soundtrack in overdrive, you'd have to say. A beautiful, small but very detailed, beautifully produced hardback art book. The game with a reverse art cover sleeve, and 6 very nicely printed art cards. I am perfectly happy and very excited to try out the game on my PlayStation 4. In fact, I'll probably do that quite soon. I'll capture some video and I will show you the beginning of the game and produce some gameplay with commentary so that you can get an impression to see whether you'd be interested in the game. This was Langrisser I and II. I hope you enjoyed that. Please keep well. I'm Food for Dogs. Bye-bye.